Hey guys, it's Loy here, and this is another video for Crypto Insider. So today I'll be exposing how these DeFi high APY staking pool, how they manage to have a interest payment this high, and yeah, I'll explain how is that possible when most bank term deposits nowadays only give you like 1 to 2% a year, depending on where you live. Some countries even 0.1% or something, next to nothing. Whereas these DeFi staking pool are giving you 66.9% APY a year. So APY and APR is a bit different, but you just use the reason why they use APY because it looks like a bigger number, but these are calculated daily, and you can just use a simple website to swap APY to APR. So it's 66% calculate daily. So yearly you'll be getting about 50%. So yeah, this is actually 50% interest per year, and that's very high compared to the typical mainstream bank interest or the long-term deposit. So so PancakeSwap is one of the more popular one, or at least based on its DeFi ranking. And this was actually introduced by one of my friend, and uh, actually a few friends, and they have invested quite a bit of money into this, like probably 6 to 7 figures. And I was looking into this, and it looks really good on paper, but I have a finance and economics background. I studied it in university, and I was wondering, wait, this doesn't make sense. Like, uh, where do they get these? Where do they get these extra tokens to pay you? Like, how do they pay you? Like, and what do they pay you in? And most of these DeFi staking pool, they pay in the same token that you stake. So if you're staking cake, you get paid in cake. Okay. And the problem is this: where do they get all these extra cake to pay you? Most people are wondering. And here is what's shocking that I have to tell you guys. Um, so there's a website called Wayback Machine. It's a popular website where you can like check a website that on a particular date in history. So um, let's have a look at PancakeSwap. This is PancakeSwap current the current today's date is the 15th of December 2021. So this is the current statistics, okay, for PancakeSwap. So it's $12.60 today. And what these are, okay, when you look at this page, the most important statistics is you got to look at the circulating supply and total supply, these three. So circulating supply is the amount of coins in the public hand, like is the amount of coin that is circulating publicly. Total supply is the amount of coin generated from the DeFi or whatever, whoever is managing this. Technically, it's supposed to be decentralized, and max supply is also very, actually, probably the most important. And if a particular, this does not just apply to DeFi, so it applies to any altcoin. Okay, so if an altcoin does not have any max supply, it means there is infinite supply. Even if the white paper, you gotta take all white paper with a grain of salt, because a lot of these developers, they're BS a lot. All right, so you don't take the word like word for word. So when you just look at what they do, that is the most important thing. What they do over what they say is more important. So yeah, So in this case, there is no max supply. So even though, you know, maybe in the white paper they say, oh, they're gonna limit the what do you call it, the printing, like the issuing new coins, new supply. But you know, you can't take the word for it. And this is how you can check what they've been doing in the past. So let's go back to Wayback Machine, and I found a snapshot of the same website. So I use Live Coin Watch. It's pretty reliable, similar to we call it Coin Market Cap. And this is a snapshot of this year. Sorry, January the 24th of the same page. Okay, and let's have a look. So in January, PancakeSwap was earning $1. Okay, $1.15, and the circulating supply is about 100 mil. Total supply is similar, 100 mil, and obviously infinite, like max supply. So from January to December the 15th, the total generated supply is more than 5 times, like 5.5 times more. Even though the total supply is not necessary the circulating supply, that still means that these new coins hasn't been issued yet, or hasn't been, what do you call it, it's probably been staked, so it hasn't been released yet, if that makes any sense. And when this is released into the public, when it's unstaked or whatever, when people, you know, take it out, you're gonna have, well, this is the current supply, right? You're gonna have 2 times more coins in, you know, in the exchange, in the public. And what makes it worse is, since January from until December, there is technically around roughly 2.5 times more PancakeSwap tokens circulating in the public. And this makes a lot of sense if you have a look at the charts. So let's have a look at the charts, okay? And now you can explain the effects of having 2.5 more times circulating supply. The result of this is when Bitcoin made a higher high, or near like just over double top, right? PancakeSwap could not even recover half the price, or it was roughly half. And that makes sense because since January, there's 2 times more tokens. And if you want to have a look, maybe since this 5 capture, let's have a look at since May. So since May, let's see how many coins there is since. Oh, there's no snapshot in May. So, but there was one. Okay, but there was one in Coin Market Cap, but I don't have time to show. It's gonna take a long time for me to get that up. But I think since May there was like probably like 50% more coins or something like that. I don't know the exact figure, but there was a lot more coins. The point I'm trying to make is there's a lot more coin on September than there was in May, and that's the reason why it could not correlate with Bitcoin when Bitcoin was made a high at 69,000. This technically, if that point I'm trying to make is technically if they had the same circling supplies as May the 4th or so, it would have been similar to Bitcoin. It would have made like a high. But since it had more tokens being issued, because like they have to issue new tokens. I mean, how else they're gonna pay for the 60%? What is it, like 66% APY? It has to come from somewhere. So yeah, this is very alarming. So the point I'm trying to make is this is inflation. This is the coin inflation. So a year's worth of inflation is if you take into consideration the total supply is about 550% per year. That's what is being generated from the DeFi for PancakeSwap. But even if, let's say, we be more conservative, we just consider the circulating supply because that's what's been released in the public, right? That's still a lot. That's like 150% inflation or 150% printing. That's like worse than the Federal Reserve. So if you're into crypto for, like, a lot of people are into crypto because they're worried about inflation of the US dollar, right? So if you're into crypto to hedge your risk from the inflation from the US dollar or fiat currency, why the hell would you invest in DeFi? So DeFi would be the last sorry. DeFi would be the last type of coin, crypto coin you would ever invest, because the inflation or the printing on these DeFi is insane, and it does not, like this is not an isolated incident. Okay, this is not just, I'm not saying bad about PancakeSwap. I'm not what do you call it, targeting just one coin. It happens to most DeFi. So let's have a look at I'll give you like two more examples. So another popular one is Wonderland. So the code is called Time. And look how ridiculous this is. This, you thought, you think PancakeSwap 60% per year is ridiculous, right? But when you have a look at this, your mind just explode. When you look at this, you just realize this is 100%, like 99% certain this is a Ponzi scheme. Well, most DeFi high APY staking pool a Ponzi scheme. Let's be clear here. I wouldn't say they are a scam, because they publicly tell you what they're doing, but 100% is a Ponzi schemes, and these are, I like to call these Ponzi-nomics. Okay, so the white paper are purely Ponzi-nomics. They use all these fancy words, trying to say this and that, but it's all like, it comes down to all being a Ponzi scheme. So okay, let's have a look at Wonderland. Okay, so this is today's statistics. Circling supply is 73,000. 73,000. Total supply is about just over half a mil. And let's have a look at just 1 month, just over a month ago. Okay, November the 12th. So remember, today is December the 15th. That's when I made this video. And this is just a month ago. Okay, just a month ago, there was about 40% less coins or in circulation. What I'm trying to say is there is like 60% more coins just 1 month later. Just 1 month. So if you times that by 12, that's about what, about 720% in circulation in 1 year. And that's just circulation, and that's being conservative, like just giving them the benefit of a doubt. But when you look at the total supply, this is not released in the public yet because it's still being staked. But what happens? Okay, what happens when this coin starts to crash? Everyone's gonna unstake everyone's gonna unstake the tokens, and try. It's equivalent to like panic sell, because when you unstake it, you get it out, and then you can most people unstake a DeFi, they tend to sell it because it's useless. The only purpose for or at least for Wonderland, okay, the only purpose for this is to stake Obviously, PancakeSwap, you can use it to buy other coins, but you know, every DeFi has different they have different utility. Okay, so with time, most people use time to stake. So there's not much utility for time or slash Wonderland. So yeah, the point I'm trying to make is, if once this gets unstaked, this is gonna drop to. I've been told that each timed token is backed by $1. So you know that makes sense. So there is 551,000 US dollar back. That's not a lot. That's like $500,000. So this whole token or project is backed by just $500,000 of stable coin. That's not a lot. So you know, when these people like try to argue for these high APY pool, they say, oh, you know, it's backed by, you know, one time token's backed by $1. So I'm not worried. What do you mean you're not worried? So what that essentially means is, yeah, it can drop a lot, but it won't drop more than $1. So but let's say if you bought, the lowest has ever been was like what? Let me see. 1,900, right? Or about, let's say it's 2,000. So the lowest you ever bought was $2,000. Actually, it's a bit lower. Let me see. Let's click on all. Yeah, about 1,600. Okay, and it drops to $1. So you're still down 99.99%. So you know, it's ridiculous. Like, you know, the argument is so stupid. Like you know, people who invest in this you have to be like a degenerate to invest in stuff like this. And here's another one, Olympus Dao, so 4,000 APY. So these API might sound a lot, but when you calculate it, it's roughly about like so for Wonderland, I think it's like 1.8% daily, and for Olympus DAO, it's probably like, I don't remember on top of my head, maybe 1% or something. So yeah, it's not that, that's not that important. So okay, let's have a look at another example. So DAO. Oh, sorry. Before we do, once again, Wonderland has no max supply. This is like the biggest red flag ever. Similar with PancakeSwap. And okay, let's have a look at Olympus DAO. So this is today's. This is today's stats. And what's so weird about this is they say maybe this site has this figure is wrong. So this site claims it has a max supply of 3 million, but the circulating supply and the total supply is already twice that. So this is BS. So there is no max supply in this. So don't think that there is a max supply, because it's already doubled. Okay, so today there is 6 million circulating, right? Let's have a look at in history. So this is April the 17th. So on April, they got just 100K circulating, and now they got 6 million. Do you know how many times that is? That's like what, 60 times. 60 times more coins since April in circulation, sorry. 60 times. So this is ridiculous. So if this drops, it's gonna, like, this is how this is how it works. Like when you have more tokens being sold than before, if all things are equal, let's say there's a same amount of hype, same amount of buyers, all right, or same amount of participants in a market, but you have 60 times more tokens. So obviously it's a buyer's market. So the sellers would just you got 60 times more tokens to sell. So obviously you can't sell it at the same price as it was in April, because there's just 60 times more. So just imagine, like, you had a farm this is a good analogy. Like you had a farm, and you know you had a good season, and then last year, you know, you only had like, let's say, maybe a ton of mangoes, but in this season you have 60 tons. So obviously you have a overflow supply, but the same amount of demand. So in order to sell all your tokens, you just have to drop it, because you know, like, no one's gonna pay. No one's gonna pay the same price as last year if there's so many. Let's just say there's more than one supplier, not just you. So let's say there's 60 times more farmers now. Okay, 60 times more farmers. So you have to compete with the other farmers to, you know. So it's a buyer's market, and obviously when you compete with 60 times more farmers compared to last year when you're the sole seller, obviously the price will drop, because you know, like, it's called the fair value. So everyone's gonna just bargain down till the fair value or the market price. So yeah, that's the problem with these DeFi, and I'm not saying these coins will go to zero. What I'm trying to say is, when Bitcoin dumps, which is probably soon. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. And Bitcoin dumps, and you know, obviously when Bitcoin dumps every alt, people panic and sell the alts first, because people who are like fully into crypto, they know that Bitcoin is more, it holds its value a lot better than alt. So during a bear market, people tend to sell the alts for Bitcoin. Okay, so when Bitcoin dumps, yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. Like when Bitcoin dumps, it makes people sell their alts and buy more Bitcoin, but Bitcoin will still drop, because you know the demand is, it's during a sell-off, it's obviously lower, and when that happens, these DeFi will go first. That's the reason why in May most DeFi drop anywhere between 75 to, I think it was 85% or something ridiculous. Like when Bitcoin only dropped about 60%. So yeah, these DeFi will always drop a lot more. But having said this, not all DeFi are bad. Okay, so I'll give you one example of a DeFi that I actually like, which is Uniswap. So Uniswap, this is the current stats. So this is why I like Uniswap. Max supply, right? Even though 1 billion is a lot, that is a lot. Max supply, total supply is the same. Circling supply is 600 million. And yeah, so they're not gonna issue anymore once the total supply is released in the public. That's probably through the staking. And let's have a look at the returns on the staking pool. Oh, super lows. So I'm not sure if this is yearly or monthly. So you know, I don't know. It looks like it's monthly, but I don't know. It could be a yearly, but this is pretty low for a yearly. But you know, at least it's something. Yeah, I don't have a clue, because I don't stake this, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But the point is, this is super low. So I like Uniswap. So Uniswap back then, let's say this is January, okay? So January had about 283 million, right? And just almost a year after, it's just a bit over double. So that's not that bad. Like, it's still a lot, but like I said, once this reach a billion, it's gonna stop. So that's fine. So I like Uniswaps. You know, I have nothing against DeFi, but when I found out about how they print all these tokens, you know, I had to make this video. I had to expose these, you know, Ponzi scheme, because I don't like people losing money, because that's, you know, that's the worst thing out. You know, I know people who lost, like, I know people who were up like $1 million, like in early 2018, like January top, the alt top, and you know they got greedy, and then I told everyone I sold out, and people laughed at me, and then Bitcoin crashed to 3,000, and most people that were down, well, either break even or down, even down, yeah. Like they were up a million, and then at the bottom they were actually at a loss, and they never recovered because, not like I said, to this date, still, this is still true. 99% of altcoin has not recovered its 2018 all-time highs. Okay, so okay, just imagine the reason why you don't want to invest in these DeFi. Okay, just imagine this is essentially how the Ponzi scheme works. Imagine I made a coin on, let's say, the Binance chain. Okay, so Binance BNB, it's a very good coin. There's a higher utility because it's being used on Binance, and the value of it, it's crazy high, right? It's about what, still $400 or some shit. 522. Wow, that's a lot. Let's say I made a DeFi, okay, and I say, give me your Binance coin, and I'll give you this new DeFi that I created out of thin air. But yeah, the sale card is you're gonna get like 1% every day. So if you stake it for a year, that's 365% a year. You can almost 4 times your money. And this coin, I generate from thin air. Okay, maybe I had to stake a few BNB just to make this coin, but so it's not backed by much. Maybe a few BNB. I don't know the minimum requirement to make a we call it a token on the Binance chain. That's not that important. So it's not backed by much. Okay, and I tell you, look, you can make 1% every day, as long as you want, just as long as you stake this my token in the pool. And I want your BNB for it. That's the only coin I'm gonna accept. So you give me your BNB, I'm gonna give you some monopoly money that I made from thin air, which is backed by not much, because I can release like what? I mean, I can release millions of tokens. Okay, I can release this infinite, so it could be like a billion. I can release a billion tokens, but I want your BNB, and I'll pay you not in US dollars, but I'll pay you in the DeFi coin I made, like the Loi coin. Okay, so I'll just punch in a number on my laptop to generate 100 million. Let's say, how much millions did they generate? 150 more million tokens, and I'll pay you for it. I'll pay you not in USD. I'll pay you in the same monopoly money that I just made out of thin air. But you're making 1% every day. That's a lot. But what I didn't tell you is, after a year's time, sure, you make 365% gains, but I did not tell you that there's also there is also up to 550% more coins. So you're literally losing money. Like you're looking at your phone, and it seems like you're making money, right? You're making 360%, 365% a year. But what I didn't tell you is there's actually 550% more monopoly money that hasn't been released yet. Well, some of it has been released, like half of it has been released. So that's the fine print that people forget to read or forget to do their research. So this is why I made this video, and I hope you guys appreciate this, because it took me a lot of research to expose this Ponzi scheme. So I'm not saying this is a scam. Remember, it's very important. The wording is very important. I'm saying this is a Ponzi scheme, and you can potentially lose a lot of money. Okay, so I still like PancakeSwap is still useful, but it's only useful for buying other tokens. Okay, it's not useful for hodling. It's not a good investment if you want my opinion. But like I said, if you don't believe what I just said, yeah, you just do your own research. Use this website. It's called Wayback. Just type Wayback Machine on Google, and you can fact check me, and there you go. So I still like DeFi, so I might buy some Uniswap when everything crashes to near zero. So even though there's 2 times more Uniswap than it was in January, Uniswap will crash a lot because I'll give you a comparison. So Ethereum releases only roughly, you can check this yourself too, 3% new coins every year. That's through the current mining. Obviously, when they move to proof of stake, I don't know what the change will be. But the smart thing about Ethereum or the Ethereum Foundation is they're smart. They only release coins based on the average inflation, which is about 3%. So technically, Ethereum is it's not even a inflationary coin or deflation. It moves, it grows similar to the average inflation. Well, currently the average inflation is probably a lot higher than 3%. But so Ethereum is good. So Ethereum is actually technically, if inflation is more than 3%, then it's technically a deflationary token, which is good. Which means over time it will always go higher. So that's why I like Ethereum. And you gotta compare 3% to like 100%. So Uniswap this year is 100%. But like I said, once they reach 1 billion, hopefully they do honor this max supply. Obviously, if they don't like Olympus Dao, then it's probably a scam. But I like to think I like to think this is written into the code. But like I said, programmers can change the code. So, but hopefully it's not changed. And this is Uniswap is one of the very few DeFi I like. So if you're gonna invest in DeFi, in conclusion is you want to look at max supply. And even if they have max supply, you don't want a max supply that is too high compared to its current total supply or circulating supply, because a max supply of something that is very large is still a lot. There's still a lot of printing that need to be done. So be wary of this. And like I said, I'm not against DeFi, but I'm against DeFi with high APY staking pool. Okay, and I really I rest my case and hope you guys get educated. And if this advice is valuable, I hope it is. Please do give me a like and subscribe to my channel, and remember to click on the bell icon and share this video to your friends. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are into these DeFi, and they need to know this, because you don't want to be a few months later and and then it's too late. You don't want to be you want to act now or before if Bitcoin sneeze or crash, DeFi is gonna go first, or most of them. So that's about it. So see you guys in the next video.